Good afternoon, a warm welcome. I am so excited about today's show. There is a gentleman that I have followed and had the honor of working with over the years, and this man is Danilo. He is a hair legend. Has a heart that is so rich and so full of love and compassion and such a sensitivity. His humility is incredible. And his body of work is breathtaking. And he has moved through all different venues of our career, of our industry, from obviously starting off in the salon, going into editorial work, working in film, television, working with celebrities on music videos, awards, red carpet, endless things that this gentleman has done. And it's so amazing that he is here today because generally he's behind the scenes, standing behind these celebrities, but he, in my mind, is the celebrity. So it's unusual to bring Danilo to us and for him to tell his story. And today is about Danilo telling his story. And what could be more exciting than that? So please, if you've got questions to ask, put them in that chat room right now. If you've got friends you think, oh gosh, they really like editorial work, they like working, they're interested in the whole celebrity thing, reach out to them right now because it's really pretty amazing. So we also have Rosemary that is here as well. So let me bring Rosemary in. Hi, Rosemary.
Hello, Vivian. I'm so excited to be both with you and this extraordinary gentleman.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. So Rosemary's here as well to field any questions. So please write in and Rosemary will be coming through. And as we go through the show, we will certainly do that. We have today planned as an hour, but I have a really strong feeling it's going to go over because every photograph has a story and the stories are mesmerizing. So Rosemary, you're on board.
I am more than ready. I'm strapped in and ready to go.
Okay. All right. So we will see you in a bit. So then let's take a look at the extraordinary body of work of Danilo, because this is what I think is so breathtaking. And you'll see why I'm so gaga, 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 blah, 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 blah. So let's bring our fabulous Danilo in. Hi, Danilo.
There. Nice to see you. Great way to start the week. So nice to be here. It's an honor.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I'm a raving fan and I love the way that this man thinks. I love the way that you do what you do. And I love that you have innovation, you have edginess, you have classic, you have such a plethora of skills to take off the shelf and just do some amazing things. And for that, I just think it's wonderful to dive into your mind to find out the thinking process about these creations. And so guys, I want to now kind of move straight into, well, actually, I want to ask you a question first before we jump into your work. I want to know, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oh God. Actually, as a child, before I ran into what I did, I wanted to be an architect. Prior to that, I wanted to be a flight attendant. As a child, we'd go to Hawaii for the summer, and I was so mesmerized by the beauty in the 60s of the flight attendants. They were so coiffed and pulled together, and I was like, something about that I have to be close to. So that's it. It went from flight attendant to architect to hairdresser. I actually got introduced to the head of Sassoon in San Francisco, their first outlet from Sassoon, London, and the first academy. And they said, you should be a hairdresser, we'll teach you. And so I started that journey there. And the rest is a journey.
Wow. And I love the story that you told me about the little ladies wearing the bubble hairdos, because I've also loved the fact that you've always been so creative throughout your entire career. You're very courageous in terms of your style and dress.
Well, I mean, call it what you like. It's an individuality, I guess. But that story is a good story. I don't know if you want me to tell that now.
Yes.
It's a beautiful story. I in 1980 moved to New York City and got employed by a salon that was opening on West Broadway, the third business in Soho. That's back in the day, cobblestones. John Delaria, the great John Delaria. And he opened his studio and started teaching me. And on a daily basis, I had a mohawk. I had long platinum blonde hair and a mohawk that I would set in big Rococo curls and pile up on my hair every day in a French twist, powder, put a mouche on. I hit the streets, and that day I had gone up, I think I was going to a museum. I was up on Madison Avenue in like 65th, and I'm walking along, I come to a corner, and I'm in all my 80s shredded, new wave drag. I was just a sight, but just feeling wonderful and radiant, going to see some art. And I pull up on the corner, and there are two ladies standing next to me that are very society, very, 50s come 60s style, like Chanel little suits. They looked identical, and they both had huge bubble-like bouffants, and they were horrified by me standing at the corner, and they backed up and kind of moved away. And I finally just turned around and I said, "Hello, ladies. Can you honestly tell me, when did blue bubbles become acceptable?" And I love what you're doing, and I don't mean to scare you, but I really wanted to know in your minds, when did it became okay to have a huge blue bubble? And I mean big, like Baltimore big. So that's the story.
And I love that story. And you know what, Danilo? Growing up as the only ginger girl in school with freckles, I always felt so freakish because I wasn't like everybody else. So, I was always very self-conscious of being the weird one. So I'm still orange, and I've now embraced being orange now that it's fading away, of course.
Yeah.
So I want to show everyone something that is so totally adorable, because I spoke about the span of your work and how extraordinary it is. But let's go to this. It's just so totally adorable, because I've always wanted to do what you're going to show us right now.
I'm so glad you came in today. I've been waiting. You're the ultimate trendsetter when it comes to gorgeous hair. Nothing like original troll hair. What are we going to do for you today? Let's do something different, something the same. And you're looking amazing. Tell your friends. See you next week.
So tell me, how long did that festival take to create? Oh.
I'm having a hearing time, but hello. I've lost my sound.
Yes, we can hear you.
I can't hear you at all.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody. Real world.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Hi.
Hi. Nothing
Oh,
like
my world.
nothing like a little glitch. So
By
I
the way, as a well-worked and well-rehearsed person, as far as on the set, you'd think I'd have a big setup, but I live simply, and it's probably my system that did that. So,
no worries. So I want to know, how long did it actually take to do that?
The troll video.
Yeah.
Well, you know, first of all, Mac approached me saying that they were doing a troll collection for the movie, and they wanted me to create also troll hair human size, because they were going to do presentations all over the world with the film. So I did just that, and it's a great collection. But they loved it so much that they wanted me to come in and play with the troll dolls. I was just, you know, excited by this as a topic. I mean, working with troll dolls. So it was one day, it was spontaneous. I got dressed, I went down with the collection of dolls that I had and I had been creating looks for other things we were doing with the dolls. And so it was one day, and it was spontaneous as far as what I'm saying. The script wasn't a script. They just said, we just want you to be in the salon with them. And I was like, okay. And the big line out of that I've heard so much from you hairdressers out there, because we all get it, was at the end where I say, what are we doing today? Something different, something the same? Because, you know, everybody comes in wanting that new look, and they always end up wanting, most of them end up being the same. So we all, it's just a chuckle for us.
I know. Well, I appreciate that. So I now want to jump forward to something really the other side of extreme. Take a look at this, guys. Pretty amazing. So when you created that look, where did I lose you? Come along, my dear friend. There you go. Tell us first of all about working on a movie like this, because how many years ago was this?
Oh, of course, it was a while ago.
A while ago.
It was in the 90s. So I had been approached originally from Lisa Marie, the actress, whose fiance was the director, Tim Burton. And she said, we're doing this movie and I want you to do it. And so I met with them and read the script, started to understand more about the character, which is key about movies for me. And part of the part that I love so much is reading the script and really connecting all those dots and creating an image that suits what you're watching. In this case, underneath all that, she's an alien with two brains, and hence the proportions and the shaping. And it was fantastic. There's so many stories in it, but it went on for pretty much a 3-month period of either being on the set, or meaning in a studio set, or traveling to Washington, D.C. and filming at the foot of the monuments and stuff like that. But it was a very interesting project for me too, because I wasn't union at the time yet. And I was brought in as star request. And the union people embraced me so much, and I was so fascinated to see that many people, that many talents working on a set, collectively bringing it all together, so that the actress is only as important as the beauty or the sound or the cameraman or all of it. The respect I just really radiated, because everybody had respect for one another. That was a great thing. The challenge here, or my job here, was, as a professional, I wanted this perfect every day. It wasn't a freeze frame thing. So every night when I finished filming, I would remove it, remount the wig on a wig head, clean the lace, lay it down, as they say, and reset the hair and comb it out every day. So on a note of continuity, I got a blue ribbon. That was a challenge.
It's absolutely extraordinary. And you mentioned before that there are 2 wigs on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a base one, and then what you would call the fall, which is the flip and volume. So there's the height and the hairline, and then the cascade on top of it. She has long black hair.
It's absolutely extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
Thank you.
And of course, I have to tell everybody, this is me when I worked with Danilo, and Danilo did my hair. So it was so exciting.
That was a fun week because we did the presentation for Matrix collaboration, and it was incredible. The only thing was you're smiling and I was backstage crying. Everybody know that tears are happy tears with me. I can get very excited and all of a sudden a gusher comes. So I'm real like that.
Well, I was so excited when you did my hair. It was like so much fun. So let's carry on through your career. Today, guys, what we're focusing on is Danilo's career within the world of celebrity. So we're covering film, music videos, obviously the entertainment world in its broadest spectrum. And we're hoping that Danilo's going to come back so we can explore the fashion side of what he does. And of course, there's fashion infused in everything that he does, but specifically, the fashion industry is very, very different to working with the celebrities. And I thought that this would be a great way to explore Danilo's world and understand what it takes to work in movies and so on and so forth. So before we leave the movie area, let's just go to this amazing one. Now, I thought, Danilo, when you see animation, I just figured that they drew this, and I didn't realize you did the hair.
Well, what it is, Disney called me and said, we're doing a new film and we think it's going to be a hit. I really remember them telling me that. I got hired to create Elsa's hairdo. And so I went to Disney, and they had set up a massive studio. It was unbelievable for what, as the day went on, it played out. So I went in and designed 3 hairdos, me and my assistant. And then a model, an actress model came in, and we tried them on her. I had read the script, so very important to read scripts, just because it speaks to the choreography of what your character is going to be going through. So I had an understanding of the individual. Then I started meeting, the animators. I met the costume designers, the merchandise designers, the director, the cameraman. All of a sudden, by the end of the day, everybody was there, and we had the actress in The Chosen One, and I staged and reenacted with them all watching a specific scene, pretty much the scene of her where she transcends and gains her crown back when she's, comes from the depths and everything, her ice palace rises. So we have a wind machine that's like about 20 feet across, and we kick that in, and she's just blowing, and the whole thing's starting to happen. And I do what I call hair choreography, which is what the hair has to do to tell the story. And there you have it. So it was one of those incredible moments. And I am ever so grateful. And the great thing was they've just, worked on number 2, and they just evolved her hair. They like who she is. So, but that's very Disney character driven. So I loved it. It's incredible. Thank you, Disney. Keep on coming. I recently have worked on yet another film, but it's being filmed. I worked on design concepts and designed some of the wigs for Little Mermaid, which is going to be done in human beings now. Actors are doing it. It's going to be live. And so that's exciting. I haven't seen anything yet. I don't know what they're doing with it over there, but I'm excited.
So that's a lot of swimming with holding your breath, I presume.
No, it's a lot of special effects. Yeah. Isn't it always holding our breaths? How many times do you have to say, take a breath?
I had to take a breath. So many times, Nina, when people said to me, well, is there someone's hair that you would love to do that you haven't done? I always say Lady Gaga, although I probably would be terrified to do her because, I have great respect for her greatness, and I would feel like this to do her hair. But I've always thought, wow, she'd be an amazing person to work with because she is so creative. So it must have been a whole lot of fun when you had this opportunity. Tell us about this.
Yeah, this is Telephone, the video of hers with Beyonce, and quite a journey. Hairdresser arrives at 4 a.m. Star has just been wheeled in off. She's in the middle of her tour, and she needs extensions removed, color done, extensions put back in, set, put under a wig cap, wig already set on the side, this yellow, and that has to be placed, laid down, combed out. So that's just getting started to be ready, camera ready on time. which we were, I'm very happy to say. The other thing that was an irony here, and this particular shot doesn't show up, but there are some others in the video, you'll see it. There was a lot of debate as to what to do. It was in her bow stage, and it was like, she's done the bow, we got to do something else. It's a telephone. What about the telephone as a bow? So that morning, not only did I set her hair, I ended up making, with my assistant, Charlie, who was so amazing, we built a hair telephone. And that's on her head too. You can look for that if you look at the video. And here, this shot is her in prison. It's funny, she doesn't know my past with Naomi and Coke can setting. There you go. But I got into a conversation with her about, let's do Diet Coke cans. And I said, well, actually, I do Coke cans, and let's. And so anyway, we did this, and they're great. I put these two pictures together because I thought it's the irony that they're both on the phone, and their picture is so cute that they're talking to each other. If you notice, Naomi has real Coke, and Gaga has Diet Coke. I know I have room for. I did a documentary for that was being made about Coca-Cola imagery and iconicness, and I used the Zero Coke, the black can, for that one. I don't want to repeat myself, so I just do it, new Coke can.
So let me ask you, do you ever feel intimidated when you're working with these iconic female artists?
I think yes, and I don't know that intimidated is the word. I guess where I've gone with all of that is I know that if I'm nervous, it's like Zen in the art of, I'm going to use that to infuse it, kind of thing. And I always feel safe with it now because I know that that's a sign that I just had it the other day. I hadn't met my client ever before, and I'm spellbound by her beauty and her artistry and her vision. And I was nervous. I'm always excited. I guess that would be more of it. But some people, you hear through the industry, watch out, you better watch out. And there's some nuts out there, but they're everywhere. They're even in hair salons. We all know it, and we all enjoy it, or we just know, we all learn how to step aside. But there's the helicopter going over. Isn't that exciting?
That's cool. That's cool. So tell me about this, because I love that you were a model on set. So tell us about this. This is really cool.
Okay, so I, for 26 years, have been involved with the biggest AIDS benefit in the world. It's called Lifeball. It's now been retired. They're doing other things, but it's a huge extravaganza. Look at it, lifeball.org. And it's quite pageantry involved. I think this was 2 years ago. I was with the individual Conchita that I'm with, is also the winner of European Voice Competition, very famous in Europe, singer. And anyway, I'm portraying a very famous doctor from the 20s and 30s who wrote books and had a lot of breakthrough positioning on trans, and was doing early on trans surgery, and was very involved in the whole thing about how people are born with different hormonal imbalances and how that there physically are different people. We just choose to recognize them only as two. Anyway, so I got to portray him, and that's who I'm portraying.
That's so cool. So let's now jump into red carpet, because there's lots of people that are watching we've got students watching who dream of doing what you're doing, and we're going to get into that. And there's so many people that we see your amazing work in photography, and the client's holding that picture up and saying, I want it like that. And we are seeing one particular angle, and we have no idea how you created it. So there's this wonderful mystery around red carpet. Do you enjoy doing red carpet?
I do. The same reason I think I really like shows and red carpets, because it's over. You let them go, and you have to let it go. The only thing is, if you watch, there's I have to admit, there's been very few times, but there's been an occasion, like a downpour or something happens, but where you're on, you're like, don't move, leave it, don't touch it. But my hairdos tend to be tried and true, and they don't move, and they give picture angle. Big thing I'm a stickler about. You got to look good from the side, from the front, from the back. I want every angle to be a captured moment.
Now, this one is incredible, because if we look really, really close, we just see how amazing this is. But you have a story to tell us about this.
Yeah, we were discussing this. So this is Katie, as everybody knows, and I got called 24 hours ahead of time. We've done a lot together, done a chunk of work together, and she needed a blonde bob lace front wig, and that's not something that grows on trees, and they always expect that from you, like, oh, call Danilo or call any of us, any of my contemporaries. You got one. Anyway, got it together, colored it, and showed up and got it on her and laid it down. And that's what I'm most impressed with here is the laying down. And you don't, this is public. There's no controlling it. There's a breeze going on there. There's many real elements. There's sun, all kinds of things going on that could compromise a lace front. I don't have a controlled studio environment to be on top of it. She's been let go and she's out there. And so I'm very proud that it looks as good as it does.
So let me ask you this. Things could go wrong there, right? What happens when you're in a situation where you do an incredible look and the client, whoever that client may be, doesn't appreciate your artistry? How do you manage that? Because we all, as hairdressers, face people that don't approve of what we're doing, but your stakes are really high because there's always so much more money involved in the things that you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a couple things that I come at there. First of all, generally, if we're talking celebrity, they're, whether they realize it or not, head to toe is working. So I always tell them your hair has a job. So we want to, and I really like to know what you're wearing head to toe. I don't just look at, we used to call it lady head, where people walk in, it's just all going on here and nothing else down here. So you're always staring at their face, you don't look at the rest. But anyway, I always see a totality. I'm deep in fashion. I have a big background in it, and I have a passion about it. So if somebody has, I engage them. It's their image. It's what they're doing. So if they have some input, I want to hear it. And also, there's a point in the conversation where you just realize I've been doing this long enough that you want something. You don't need what I want. It's not about my ego. It's not about me. It's about being professional and achieving the ultimate goal. And then there's collaboration. So I've been blessed with more collaboration than anything. Clients that sit down and they're inspired by me and I'm inspired, and we get in the playground together. We're like, let's do something, what do you want to do? And show me the dress and try it on, and wow, okay, that needs, the next high, let's get the hair up. And, I have a lot, I think I brought in for a lot of my own tailoring. I have proportions that I like. I like a blunt cut. I like movement. I like shapes and stuff. So, I come in with a reputation, and people have generally looked at my work and want some sort of relationship with that. Can you do that to me, kind of thing? And so it's not different from a salon experience. The difference in the salon is you are the boss, kind of. In my environment, there's 100 people behind it. They're all waiting. They really only care that the camera's rolling. They don't. I always say, unless it's beautiful in front of the lens, it's not ready. It's not going to be as good. So, and that goes for hair and makeup and clothing. So I feel passionate about it, and it's really communication ultimately. Learn how to talk. I was told in the beginning of my career at Orbe that 50% of what you do will be about your personality. That's powerful. And it has proven to be, and these days with Squirrel Curl, that takes 15 minutes, you're like done. Sometimes people come in looking better, unkempt. So you really have to show up and be professional and be present. Yes.
So I'd like to go back to this image here, because these two shots are so different from each other. The architecture and the sleekness of the one hairstyle, and then the relaxation and the softness of the other. So when you're going from architecture to something that is more soft and more fluid, what is your mindset?
Well, you and I were discussing the fabrication of a look, and I always look at it as connecting dots. I look at the situation and I let all that information start coming. And I figure when I put the dots together, I've learned to trust my instincts in that sense, in the sense of, or we call it my stink, but instincts that are, something's communicating to you, like whether it's, it's a sleek away because this all has to show so beautifully and really stretch it out, or down, or softness, or like my hair looks done, but it looks so undone chic. It's really about an attitude. It's all, I know the occasions. I've been all over the world. I've seen all these carpets, and different ones, they all have energy, and then they have what they mean to me. Cannes Film Festival. I mean, there's so much fun to go there and do these grand, beautiful, elegant looks for women. And then others, a show or an award show in LA, or a movie premiere. It all just has a different attitude. What's the weather today? Everything. I connect my dots.
Yes. So I love this photograph. And guys, we're going to, in a moment, go into doing a hair demonstration. So don't go away, because Danilo is going to teach me how to do this most fabulous hairstyle. So I'm really excited that I'm going to learn. So this relationship with Gwen Stefani, such a beautiful, beautiful, talented woman. How many years have you worked with her?
We've been together for 20 years now, which is unheard of, and I'm extremely grateful. And we have a ball. I mean, I also color her, so I'm deep, and a friendship, of course. All these years, I was with her more than her family was. So we've done so much together. My years with her started with No Doubt and Pink Hair. I met her I was doing Vivienne Westwood's collection, and she came backstage to meet me with her makeup artist and Matthew Anderson, and we hit it off, and worked her through some pink hair and got onto the blonde hair, and all the things you've seen since, and all her videos and appearances. So it's been great. And God, could I ask for a better Barbie?
I know. I absolutely. I mean, it's just incredible. So we're seeing the diversity and the creativity. So let's just go through some of these hairstyles, because I have specific questions about it. Of course, she is beautiful, but one of the things that also is so impressive, that blondes, as wonderful as they're able to work on, when I'm cutting a blonde, I notice that they can mark the hair really easily. Irons, you can easily get a ridge in there that would never even show. Just the closing it correctly of the iron, it can show a mark. Products, it can be sometimes very unforgiving, and when you're doing this, it's like flawless. So how is that hair sitting on the top of her head, that lovely little hairball?
How is it? It's a ponytail that I created a knot with. The bluntness, I just out of respect to my clients, I won't tear it 100% apart, but I'd love to have a session where we're all doing it, and I can talk you through it. But that's her ponytail that I've created, and I braided it's a double braid that I folded and then twisted and pulled open.
It's fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
The blunt length, really, that drama, long before the lob came along. We were chopping hair. I was like, we need an angle, we need a hard line. The reason I like that sharp line on her particularly is I call it tassel hair, because it swings very clean like a tassel. Like earlier, the picture of the ponytail, the black tip ponytail when she's swinging her hair, it just dances. And I love when hair can dance, when it just moves and it's perfection, it lies, and it's just like, ooh, I want some of that.
And so here, talk to us about this look.
Well, this is the voice as well. Voice, imagine, you guys, this is the voice. It's at least 5 hairdos a week, if not 10, because there's changes all the time, and a color job. When we come to work on Monday, we color hair every Monday. So it's very reminiscent of a 60s coming to a 70s look. And it's just something that we really wanted to have with the dresses. Once your dress starts falling away, it's great to start having length fill in and soften and flatter. But it was just that, and just me carrying on and editing these photos, because I like playing with them.
Yes, and then this series, I get again the beautiful architecture as we go through these. So the control and the finish, and again, blonde hair can show up back combing so easily. What do you find working with blonde hair a little bit more challenging than, say, darker hair that disguises things?
I know what you're speaking to, and it is a challenge, but this is just a note to everybody out there. There are so many things that you will encounter, and you'll learn with your fingers and your eyes and your mind, like, oh, this texture, okay, I know this texture, or this color, because they both, black doesn't do well. What I know, black does a great silhouette because it's so dark. That's where you see the detail. That's the best you'll see the detail. Where with white hair, you can really bring a lot of movement in. It is challenging. Product choices are key too. Tools. I'm very, very anal about things being clean and clear in certain areas. And another note, I'll undo it. But in these kind of styles, it's about the drama. It's about when she turns her head and you're like, what is going on with that ponytail? It's just finished in every detail. And it's what we live for. It's called coiffure. And it's truly coiffing of hair. It's a finish of hair. So
do you find it more difficult to do hair smooth and sleek than relaxed and undone? Which do you find more difficult?
Well, I would have learned in life, and I tell this all the time to people, the hardest is simple. It really, really is, because so many hairdressers just can't stop, and all of a sudden it looks done. So the simplicity, the ease, the clarity are really important elements. It can look very finished, like straight, like again, that black cut, there's a drama there, but it's all in the line, the shine, and the bluntness. I can let my hairdressing work. You don't have to lose your mind over me. It doesn't have to have my ego on it. I'm there to play and create. So I release that, But they are challenging, and the only way you're going to get to it is learning it. Get your hands in it. Play, 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 play. Beauty school is a great place to start. Some of the most important things I learned fundamentally happened to me at beauty school. Believe it or not, I learned how to do a pin curl set. I had one client that came in every 10 days, pin curl set, finger wave comb out. And that got me down, taught me a lot. So
you learned how to do your basic backcombing techniques on shorter hair, I presume, yes?
Well, interestingly enough, so when I went through beauty school, nobody was, it was 70s, late 70s. And so nobody was teaching any of that or doing any of that. It wasn't like traditional old beauty school. So I had to learn how to set hair and backcomb hair myself. It was just a passion of mine that I had, and I did it myself. And through that process of setting and playing, I learned that hair talks back. Let the hair talk. So I put a roller on and see what it does, and started learning that patterns with your rollers create beautiful patterns in the hair. It's just, you start learning a language that happens between here and here, and the actual medium you're working with. So it's artistry, guys.
Yes.
You're an artist. You know how to tweak and pinch. It's so funny when you see professionals on the set. They'll just go over and go. I remember Orbe used to just like do that for a second and then be like, oh my God, that looks amazing. What did you do? Anyway.
So the contrast between the smooth and the sleek and the controlled to more of a bohemian look. I mean, I just think this is such a fabulous look. I love it.
Thank you. And well, again, these are different sets. This was a look that we had done in a video, and she said, let's do that video look again. So that after 20 years, you've kind of done everything, everything that she will do. And then this is a favorite of mine. Those both, I mean, she looks stunning.
Yes.
Her beauty is just nonstop. And she looks so great in so many things: textures, lengths, height, put away, simplicity, like nothing kind of look, And in one of her videos, we really did an undone look, and it just looks so great.
Yeah. Now, in your career, you've obviously traveled around the world so many times and been to the most amazing places. You've done hair in castles, palaces, all the incredible places that you've been. So what do you have time to enjoy those experiences, or are you working so hard you don't even appreciate it?
I'm living it. This picture that's up right now is Cannes Film Festival, and we were there sponsored by L'Oreal, and she had a contract at the time. And we were going to a fantastic premiere, it was actually their big AIDS benefit. And so, I mean, that whole picture and beauty says Cannes Film Festival, darling. You know, she just looks chic. She's ready to go, and we're having a ball. As far as enjoying, my enjoyment is being in the moment. So if I have time, I go off. I'll go to the museums or the beach. But if I don't, I'm with Gwen Stefani, going all over the world, doing great things, and performing and sharing's a very special thing. You know, it appears to be a highly glamorous life, but it's a career, and it's all consuming. I'm on point all the time.
Yes.
There's always something to do.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I love this because of its relaxation and its movement and its freedom, and it has shape, and yet it's so undone. So talk to me about how challenging it is to create this type of look.
Well, you know, it's really learning the language with your fingertips. For me, you have to, you know, I've blown it out. I do my standard that I do with everybody. I really enjoy building with leave-in conditioners. I always want to be kind to the hair because it has to be there for the next big moment. So, and I like an idealism in the quality, a lovely lustrous sheen, a lovely healthy look. And from there, once I've established, in this case, a smoothness, I start to play with it. All along when I'm building the smoothness, I'm building it in direction of, I want a little pompadour in the front. I'm going to be pulling the sides back. I'm going to be doing kind of a pigtail twist back. And then once it's all set, then I'm going to go in and screw it up with my hands. Let my hands like break it up. And then there's Gwen on the set. Gwen's an incredible model. She really knows how to move. She knows lighting. She knows camera. She knows how to serve it. And for me and her, she's 100% confident in our relationship that whatever she does is going to work.
Yeah.
With the hair. So.
Yeah. That's incredible. So now we're going to move into, we're going to go to out to some questions in a moment, but we're now going to move to the hairstyle that I'm going to try and recreate with the guidance of this genius.
My hand.
I mean, I love this whole vibe of what we're going to do today. So talk to me about this, and we're going to get then into doing some hair, folks.
Okay, well, again, I've laid down the hair originally with, you know, just putting in the volumizers and the conditioners that I want, just blowing it out, and then achieving the texture. Often, for a lot of these looks, I will flat iron first and then set. I believe this is an inch set because of that glamour effect. It's very Marilyn and classic glamour set. But I go in and set it. And when I do these kind of looks, by the way, this is one day of work. We were doing promo for album and album cover, and it's all in one. And so I knew that I wanted to start with a set, and then I started to want to open it up till the end of the day where it's her thrashing around. You know, I wanted to evolve and have a lifestyle. So, and bring in that realness. So once the set's done, usually I run my hands through with a little leave-in cream. There you can see it's just an undoing of it. And it's just a little wind and her motion and emotion, which can really bring it home. But I've broken it up with my hands with a little leave-in cream. And then if I want, I'll do an upside down kind of shake out and put a little, often either a texture spray or a dry shampoo, just to give it a little oomph and a little lifestyle worn in kind of look instead of so fresh. And then we just start working it all day long. Sometimes I like to take a low heat on my dryer and run my hands through just to open the set and have it not look so cute and tight. And sometimes I want it really tight. You'll see pictures where I've just really kept it snug and close. But it's about letting the hair have its moment.
Yeah.
Not fighting it, because you can easily go really too done with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to now get into recreating this look. Well, I'm going to try, but so
you are very talented. What we're trying is me telling you. That's going to be hilarious, but this is how it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So this will be a surprise to you. I did the haircut and I went based off of our conversation about how you were saying the hair, how you would cut it. So this was my imagination. So I could have completely got this wrong.
Oh,
But
you know what? This is playtime.
yeah, so I did a razor haircut, and I'm going to show the little video of what I actually did, and then we're going to take this through. So are you ready for my little video?
I'm excited. You're a good hair cutter, girl. That's something you...
Here you can see my mannequin starts off with a lovely bob, but we're going to try and create the look of Gwen Stefani that Danilo created. So you can see here over-directing around the face to create that softness, then taking that guideline from around the face and making that my internal layer. I went back twice because the first time I was a little shy, and the second time I went for a little bit stronger because I was watching how the hair was responding. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm pulling away from the parietal and from the temple so that I create a longer layer on the top going into my perimeter shape. And as I work around, I am literally walking around the head to create roundness on a horizontal level and roundness on a vertical level, rounding into the outline shape. And as you can see, the outline shape really has a lot of softness because I'm using the L technique, which creates that lovely soft effect. Now, because I have a side parting, I've divided the hair equally on my second side so that I can make both left and right the same length. Then going for my fringe with very long L technique to create that lovely interior and exterior effect. And then what you can see is over-directing the hair forwards onto that line. So I almost have a horseshoe shape around the face with this over-direction into the perimeter. Always playing with the hair because I'm saying to myself, how is this going to be once it's set? And I'm trying to use my imagination. And, you know, it's a little bit of a guessing game, really, because I'm working with hair that's quite straight, that's going to end up quite curly. So it does take a trained eye to understand if you're going in the right direction. And to be honest, I don't know how trained my eye is for this, but Danilo's certainly going to tell me. So you can see, again, working my perimeter and working around. Measuring, of course, to make sure the angles are the same. Going up the center back, I'm doing a combination of vertical and horizontal to make sure that my left and my right meet beautifully in the center. To finish this haircut, soften the top layer and round the corner. Now the set. I put a lot of product into the hair to give it some guts and texture, and I set the hair using triangle sections and stacking it so that I've got this nice brickwork effect, working all the way through to my perimeter. And then I came up with this idea of putting the shower cap on and applying some heat to see if I could mush the effect. And as you can see, gorgeous Gwen Stefani, amazing hair by Danilo. So now let's see if I can make this hairstyle come to life.
Wow. And I know you work that fast too.
You don't really know.
Oh, I know you do. I've seen you in action.
So you said to me about sometimes you go back into a double set.
I do. I generally do, but you know, we're on film set, so there's different things. I don't know what products you ended up putting in, but I would have put a leave-in conditioner and a volume spray, drying it in, and then I like to work with a cream, a little bit of a cream, and I take my sections and I bake them. But we found, at least with some of my clients, it works best when they're on set and when there's a lot of movement. You want to get it in. Better yet, but nobody has time anymore, and it's so old school, is a proper set. If it was under a hood dryer set, magnificent. And I just found this new hood dryer that steams, and that could work really well with the right texture.
Interesting. So here's my set. So now, how would you go in with your fingers with some product in, or do you start with a brush?
I think to speed up, so a lot of times I'm looking at her, talking in the mirror, and I'll just start pulling it out. There's a couple things. Since you haven't explored it first, why don't you try, take it off your, do you have I can't see what's going on. If you can take it off and shake it upside down, because I'll have clients shake their head and come back up and just see where the drama is coming.
Can I shake it?
Yeah, like you'd like to sometimes. Okay, I think I think you've achieved it. That's your therapy. Look already, you got a vibe going on. But you do, and you know, if somebody goes and just upside downs their hair and comes back up, you start to get a story. That's a big difference already.
She's related to the girl in Mars.
What'd you say?
She's the alien in the Mars Attack. She's related.
So then what I do is I'll start looking at where I want opening, like on the sides and stuff, all of that. I generally go at the base of my curl and either do a little back combing, particularly in the front because you need it. You need the direction to sink in.
Now, do you ever tease and then set your tease?
I actually have on the second time around because, to be honest, sometimes we're on the set for 16 hours. It's tungsten lighting, and it can start to warm up the hair. Your body's warm, you know, it all starts to collapse. So when the hair's in, I'm resetting the style again. It's not even starting over in the beginning. So exactly what you're doing, I go through and do. I generally either take exactly where my curl was, but you have to be really careful of that. If you're doing it at the base of your set, you don't want to leave it that way so it just looks like a bunch of curls separate. Also, what I do in the back, I would brush it out. So, because I like it to have a little length down the back. That's what when you cut it, a little fuller in the back.
And did I take out too much weight?
Excuse me?
Did I take out too much weight?
No, no, no. You know what? There were many things about it. I would have loved to do commentary, but there are many things you did that were great. I like a little more it's a 50s where it falls down a little bit. It's very Maryland. So it's a little closer to the head here, but all the dancing happens in the front and the sides.
So would you then come through here and sort of bring it down and kind of bring it?
I get to that last only because it's the last to come out. It's
all right. So I'm going to section go back.
Exactly. And do it on the sides, just so you get that, you've created that lift away from the face with that. And I can tell that your set's really good, so you have great curl pattern, so you're good. You're not going to have to reset it. Now, go ahead and do some back combing to the base, but often what I do after is I do what's called French lacing.
Yeah.
And we do that after, which breaks it apart and is a completely different thing where you don't really lose the hair from back combing it. You basically are spreading it out into a beautiful bloom of a curl, and then you just brush it a little smooth, and voila.
So like in here, make that tight.
I always back comb behind my illusion.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so when you pull the curl out, I'd be in the back of it, not in the face, not in the hairline.
Okay.
I see it. I see it starting to open.
So you want me to come from the underneath?
From the back.
And then come back this way?
Yes, because then it's less you see. And then that's usually enough just to get the lift from the base. And then with my French lacing, I get a lot more. And I find that curl really likes to be worked a little to get it out of its form. But you always have to have a mindset of what you're going to be doing. And to be honest, everybody out there, the only way you know it is you got to practice. Curling hair, setting hair is the practice makes perfect. Because once you get that confidence, you're able to just run with it. Oh, I'm going to do that set. You just do the set, and then you deal with what you get. And every hair type's different.
So the other thing, though, about your work is that it looks so separated. And I could see how easily you could get to the place where it ends up being a ball, like a bubble, which is not what you want.
No, it's not what you want. And it's also exactly that motion you're doing now at the end. But I save that for last. I get all the back combing in, all the hairline back combing. And I may do back combing on the bottom with my fingers. Works out really well, particularly when you got a set. Exactly. And here, why don't we, since we're here and you can work through it, why don't we show a little French lacing on that part? Because that's something you'd like open.
Here, okay. So right. So so maybe our terminology is different. When I French lace, I'm doing this usually.
But you do it with a brush, not a comb.
Okay. Too big?
And yes, and no, it's fine. That's fine. A paddle brush is the way to go. And you just hold it lightly and you peel it open. And just, I hold it up a little higher in my section, but I'm usually behind her too, but I just peel it open and peel it open. And then that's how you get that beautiful coiffure finish, those soft, wonderful ice cream frosting finishes.
So you want me to stand behind?
Well, that's what I do with my client. I don't come around the front, but there you go. You should have wore those Louboutins today.
Where would you like me to start, at the crown and then go forwards?
Yeah, I would say, no, I usually do the front back.
The front back.
And work all the way back.
So then this section here.
Next. And you just peel it open. It's a soft pedaling. And the softer you do it, the better it is. It opens up. And then often, before I brush it or finger it, I hit it with a little spray or dry shampoo. So it has that fluff in it. And then I can go back through and do the finishing smoothing.
Okay. Is it okay if I stand in the front? Because I can't see it back.
There's no rules here.
There's no rules. Okay. So it's okay if I come through like this.
Yeah.
And then just gently, you say, keep
in the
it.
direction you want that curl to go. And that's what will happen. Exactly. You're peeling it open. So the big thing about this is several things. You're not packing down all your hair, so you don't lose a lot of hair. With blonde hair, often the tips are thin because it's had either a chemical cut or it's just the stress of being platinum blonde. It's not easy.
No.
And then it also, it doesn't pack it down, but it gives that ethereal light fullness, and it captures light on camera very well. And then once that's done, it's also really a coiffure technique to smooth and fill out hair and really give you some of those outrageous air-filled looks. Because with this comb would pack it down to.
I got something you can see. What about the size of the section? Is that important that you stay consistent, or when it's undone, that's not necessary?
Yeah, it's not so necessary. And I find that unless I'm doing a style that I really want to be marked, I start to do what exactly you're doing because it breaks up all the set marks. And different strokes. This girl's got a head full of beautiful blonde hair. I like to some you're having to create the illusion that it has this much hair. So you temper what you're backcombing or what you're French lacing due to what you're dealing with.
So when you're doing this type of work, what do you feel is the most important thing? The set is number one, correct?
Total set. Set is foundational. Once you got a good set, you can go a lot of ways. It's all up to you to comb it out and style it however you want. But initially, you've had some style in mind because that's how you set it. The most fluid is probably just straight back and straight down. With rollers, it all depends on the size of roller you use. I tend to use curling irons on the set. And I like, for this kind of look, I usually use sometimes a 1.5 inch iron, even 3/4 inch. It really depends on what kind of period. If I'm doing more 20s and 30s, I want tighter. 50s opens up, and 60s and 70s start to have a smoother, bigger curl. So I go out with those. I think you're probably pretty good. And just do, because I can see you're already having a conversation with it. And I think that's really...
I should get that back there, shouldn't I?
Well, this is what you're going to do now, is that you can sort of brush that away from the face, the whole hairline. And not hard, just really light to smooth it. Let that go now and look at it. See what's happening already? You get a wave pattern at the hairline, and then you start to break it up with your hands. Exactly. So brush your top as well.
See, I would have thought I would have been too scared to brush the top.
When you're brushing, you brush surface. You don't want to get rid of the fluff you've created underneath. Your hands will do that later. But okay, yeah, sort of pull the pompadour up a little there. Get out the wind machines. Okay, so now you've got a basic. It's going great. So now is when I take a little leave-in cream, and I welcome you to use whatever you like but it's, you don't want anything wet. You want something that's going to lightly mark. It could even be a dry shampoo or a texture spray, but you want it to be touchable and workable.
Okay, and it's okay that I didn't backcomb that side. Yeah, it seems to be working quite well.
Well, you're going to have all your weight over there, so you'll just get more. But yes, exactly.
And when you're doing this type of work, of course, you're constantly using your mirror, right?
Yes, at this point I do. Funny enough, I'm the hairdresser that doesn't use the mirror. I use my eyes. But that said, at this point I do look because, you know, and Gwen will say sometimes, look in the mirror, you know, because she's seeing something she wants me to see. But I have to look at the mirror, but I also use my eyes a lot because I need to see the balance that I'm wanting in it. And you're really doing it. It's just about, you know, once you have a foundation there, you just get to play it. So now you can start putting, you can see this marks it, but if you want to use, you know, your Kevin Murphy spray to give that breakup. Again, what I like to do, I flip the head again. I'll shake it all.
Should I spray and then flip, or now flip and spray?
Well, you know what I actually like to flip. I say flip your head and I spray it and get it all in there. There you go. It's part of yoga. That yoga move that you never knew. Yeah. And don't be scared. You can shake that thing, and we're not shy about upside down. Upside down's a great way to get involved quickly.
You know, when I was at Sassoon's years ago, we would do the sort of scrunch thing and so on and so forth, and we would dry their head upside down. And it was, at that time, everyone was so prim and proper. We'd be like, excuse me, madam, would you mind putting your head between your legs? And they'd be like, what?
Well.
And then they'd bring their head up and they'd be like, bloody hell, look what just happened.
It's all, yeah, but see, you're good. Really, believe it or not, you're good, exactly. Then you put it back up and you have all that built-in cosmetic. Look what's happening. It's happening. So then you just start to play it. Play it with your fingertips. And at this point, I would probably play it a little with spray at times, just when I find it's getting there. Depending on how much detail you want in curl, you start bringing that out. But it's just, and with this, you have the foundation to undo. Because now that you've built up on the flatness, I think you're doing a great job with. You know, you graduated in my book, so plus you cut it. Did you color her too?
No, I am a baby colorist. I've been learning how to color hair with Beth Bernardi. It's been hysterical.
Yes.
I'm useless.
Actually, first of all, it's hysterical, not his. But I think you're getting a great vibe. The wonder, the glamour, the Medusa. Now, maybe you want to, you don't have to, but you start personalizing it and finding out what your cut's doing. And maybe you want more of a part separation or not. Maybe you want the back, the behind the front to go a little lower. It's really a mood. You know, maybe you want to brush a little more. You can always go when you're using the right products, you can always go back in, and that is key. For session, for photo, for film, you have to be able to get in there, not have to go wash it to change it.
So when do you know when to stop? Because I could go on here for days.
Right. Well, your foundation's there. I would say right now in the front, your pompadour, I want to see the edge go back. Yeah, that's what I want. Look at me, drama, like I have hair.
Like back.
Or that, it's just because this is what we're going to see. This is going to be the drama of the face. And your mannequin is so damn cute.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
It's my tribute to dearest, beautiful Gwen.
Oh, sweet of you. I'll have to send this to her.
But she's got earrings too.
Oh, yeah.
I stabbed her.
I don't know Kevin's spray as far as me. I use it lately. Well, anyway, there's a list of what I get into, but it's nice if you want to spray the front a little. Sometimes also what I do, and once I'm in the place that you're in, I get my dryer out and get my spray out and I hit it and get that wind motion fixed in. Hello?
Yeah, piece of wall.
So low speed.
Low speed.
Low speed with a little hairspray.
Or with a little hairspray.
Yeah, because you're going to really freeze in the wind.
Oh, okay.
Again, you can go in and break up if you use the right products. So no, blow when you spray.
Oh, blow when I spray.
Do it. Okay. So can I say something here? You want to blow face forward so it spreads out, not on it, so it goes down. Do you get that? Yes. Wind time.
Now put my hairspray in.
Yeah, cool. There you go. So now you're ready. You can just be playing and working and carrying on. Look at me. I might have to close my mouth. I'm like, wow. In my book, she's ready. I know this is, you want to get in there with your hands and tweak, this is where it gets editorial or camera, right? Those moments of interest, but you start pulling and playing and there you have it.
And when would you say something like this has been done too much or goes too trade looking?
Yeah, there's that moment, and then you gotta return to undoing. But I have a really strong relationship with that, and I just know it when it's finished because this set is also something that I can brush out and do very coiffed now. You could brush this into a whole nother look. And if you look at the whole day that we did, we started with a dramatic set, then we did an undoing of it, and then I brushed it into a clean shape.
Okay, so listen, I'm just gonna say to folks there,
Yes.
why don't you take a screen capture of that, and then I'm gonna do what Danilo is gonna ask of me next. So here she is. Take a screen capture.
I mean, she looks gorgeous.
All right, so now.
And don't ever be afraid to touch it. This is where I use my chopsticks a lot too. I'll go in and lift.
Yes.
You have your comb you like. I'm a big fan of pointers. So just like, areas that you want to lift and not even so much comb through, but just sort of, because your texture is looking pretty good. It's really just, how you want it to move and the shape you want. And also in your case right now, you're finding out about the shape of your cut.
Yes, yeah, and I'm liking kind of like the asymmetry of like the back bit.
This one's really important. That's why I said open your part, because it's really about a side piece. The bigger side's great, and you can make it even bigger, but you don't need to.
Shall I brush it?
Please, if you brush this whole thing out, it's gonna be a whole nother thing. So, I mean, please don't do what you gotta do.
Gee. Okay, so I should brush from the underneath. Hello, there's a lot of product in this now.
Yeah,
so I can see now that product I use, if I was doing a lot.
I work with products. I have to work with products that are extremely versatile, so that I know when I brush through, and I think everything you're using is fabulous, but mine, the hair comes back to this luxurious shine and mobility and touchability. So if it needs to be a swinging set, all of a sudden I have that. It's just really understanding your tools and the hair you're working with, Yeah. And I've been doing it a while, kids.
So tell me something. How do you manage your stress when you're on set and you're maybe the day is running late and it has nothing to do with you? It's got to do with something else, but now it's eating into your time. How do you manage your stress?
Well, I'm odd on the set. I get quiet. I stay focused. Really, two things that are important. You have to have nutrition and you have to have water. These days are long. It's not uncommon that I stand for 18 hours as hairdressers, and I've been standing for years. So you got to be fortified for one, and also really try your best to either know when you need to be up front or you need to be in the background. It's protocol, and I don't know, years of practice on the set. I was nervous in the beginning, but very excited. And now I've said earlier, I've learned that nervousness is actually foundational for me. It's an energy flow that I can use to perform with. And I use it. I don't get lost in it, basically. Sometimes it happens. If people are negative on the set, I don't respond well.
No, no.
It doesn't always have to be a happy day, or it doesn't have to be about me. It's just about getting the job done, and everybody feeling great, like a job well done on everyone's part. I see the collaborativeness of it all. It's not, I'm the hairdresser.
Yeah.
That never works for me. I see people that do that, and I'm always like, oh, please, good, there you go.
Yeah. And what frustrates you?
Wow. Egos on the set, I don't like at all. I'm reactive because it's about the client. It's not about us.
Yes. Yes.
But just unfairness in general. I mean, nobody likes that, or I don't in my book. Arrogance, things you don't like in life in general in people.
Yes.
Some people are just they're just about themselves, and it's really dull. You're like, hi, we're here to have fun today. We can do great things, but you're in the way. Sometimes they find out, and sometimes they don't. So it's not my job to change you.
No.
And the great thing is when I have a relationship with people, we all, as hairdressers, keep in mind you're taught. I mean, I'm going to get esoteric and hippie of sorts in this, but I practice and understand energy medicine.
Yes.
And you're working on the crown chakra. You're working with a very sensitive, very energetic area of people, and could be complete strangers. You could have walked in and met them naked because they just came out of the shower at 5 a.m, and you're there to get them ready for a day of press. You have to be polite and professional. And nothing's chicer than that, really, too. Just to be on top of your game, come in, do your thing, and let your work speak for you. That's a biggie.
So that's a bit more structured, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's fantastic. Why not? What I like about it is it's a beautiful blend of undone and done.
Yeah, I've got that bit of wave going on in there.
Again, what I do is I'll hold the front and then mist it or whatever. I just it's playtime. There's no rules. You did a beautiful cut and a beautiful set. So you're finding out that it works, and that's the great. And you're using my favorite spray.
Water.
My spray bottle.
Oh.
That's going to change a lot of things.
Do you use water?
No. Because unless I need to, I use leave-in spray or hairspray.
Okay.
But it's working, and it just looks great. I mean, I've liked all of them. I liked it when it was smoother. I just think you're good. You're good. You're higher.
You know what I learned from this though, Danilo? Because I was thinking maybe make it smooth and put a wave into it, but I realized the product I used, the hairspray, was too strong, and it didn't give me the play that I thought I could have.
That's why you want to know that that's your fingers talking. That's that whole relationship with the head of hair. Exactly. Head between the legs again, please. And it works. That's Gwen jumping around doing a whole number. It's amazing. With the right person. Yeah. See, just boom.
No, is she too wide?
I don't think
more than smaller.
There's a drama there, and it's working. Okay. I like a little bit. I think people, when they look at my work, will see. Sometimes I call it animated proportions, but I'm not scared to go there. You can always bring it back. But what you're seeing in your eye isn't necessarily what the camera's going to capture. So you're better off walking it to the set and seeing how it works in light, in film, and then move through that. All of a sudden you're like, oh no, flip it to the other side or something,
Yes, yes.
It happen. You just got to be willing to undo it. Nothing precious. It's just hair. Let's keep in mind it is a lifeless form that comes the byproduct of our body, and we spend a lot of time and money, and we get paid well to do it and make it look idyllic. So it's yours to play with, and a good client will want to play with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, okay, so I learned a lot from this exercise, which is really great. And you're right about practicing your set so that you are not surprised. You really understand size of section and all of that stuff.
Yes, and also knowing what the product relationship is to that after.
Yes.
And which is tried and true that will give you the drama and brush out to be perfection in another way, give you the versatility all day, because we don't have time, nor does anybody have the hair, particularly bleached hair, that wants to be redone all day long. Wear it out to start breaking.
Yeah, absolutely. So out of all the different platforms where you work, from, you know, music videos to red carpet, to the fashion world, to fashion shows, to movies, which is your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I like them all. My favorite is diversity. You know, I love, you know, I think you're aware, I have 20 years at Procter & Gamble, global ambassador. I had a great, and have this eat me up kind of passion with designing products. Then there is fashion shows. They're so much fun. They happen, they're dramatic, and it's over. And unfortunately now with pandemic, a lot of that's moving around. It's becoming a different thing. It's more of a Zoom kind of thing, which is going to be fun. It's a different format. TV is incredible, very challenging for live audience. You know, you've really got to be able to be quick. It's live TV. It's crazy. There's so much added pressure. There's so many other people, so many professionals in one room doing their job very well.
Yeah.
And I want to get in the way of that, but I'm part of it. And then film is so deep. You know, I love that it has a script and I get to develop the character and move the, you know, when I did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Rooney Mara, I met her with her hair to her waist and it was red. And I just created this new look and color for her, all based on the script of the character. And took her eyebrows off and said, you know, I want the moment this woman appears on camera to be, you know, captivating, and she scares you, but you want to know her, kind of thing. So it's so much fun to be able to play Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I love hairdressers. I miss the salon. I love hairdressers. For the first 6 years of Orbe Salon, I was art director and vice president, and it was so much fun. We were doing 17 shows in Europe and 17 shows in New York, and I had my contract at Terry Mugler for 10 years, and so it was just this, you know, run and go and creating all the diversity. So what I like about it is it stimulates and it overplays. It's those dots, my career dots, add up to me being capable of many diverse things. I don't do it all, but I do pretty much of it. And if I don't do it, I bring in a professional to work with me to help me understand it and develop it.
Wow, amazing. So what would you say are the 3 top qualities someone needs to be successful in your world?
Wow, I've seen so many versions of success. So true to yourself. You have to fundamentally be okay somewhere. Understand who's the boss here, or who's the star in the room, and talent. I mean, it's funny I list that last, but it's really, you know, it's hard to explain the level of people that are involved, particularly big stars. There's PR, there's agents, there's whoever's got the concept going on that we're dealing with, whether it's a TV show, movie, whatever, the people that are paying the money. And everybody's in the room at the same time and they're all looking at what you're doing. And you can't be stopped by that. You have to focus on who you are and what you're there doing. And remember that you're there for the reason that you're you. You were hired to do you.
They booked you.
And that's huge.
Yeah, that's really huge. Yeah. That's really huge. So we're going to just go to our friends, Rosemary. Amazing. Have you enjoyed this so far?
I am dumbfounded.
Oh my God. Well, hi there.
Hi.
So, I actually do have a question though before we go to Rosemary. What for you defines beauty?
Oh, me? I thought you were asking Rosemary. I'm sorry.
No, not me. It's not me. It's a moment of silence.
It is beauty.
So much is beautiful. I don't like the term out of the box. I'm just so tired of it. But I'm out of the whatever, the universe. And I'm the one that, like for instance, the hair, the two styles behind me, those are hair that I've shaped and styled and then rubberized. And I treat them like hats. And, when I did there's the Versace campaign in there with Kate Moss, where I flew to Hollywood and sculpted out of clay a hairdo that was supposed to be Medusa, or excuse me, that was going to be Venus, because we were going to the Ice Hotel in Sweden with Herbert's, Versace, and we were creating an absolute campaign. So we poured the mold in clear silicone so the hair looked like ice. So I'm not always doing just hair. I think it's adornment on the head, period. And it all is important. But, so get playful that way too. Understand that your hair could be a very classic, fierce ponytail with something on top coming out of it that makes it, whoa. It's all whatever's going on. You got to get the richness of the room and the richness of what you're doing and play with that. Beauty inside out. Definitely inside out. If you're gorgeous on the inside, that's going to translate, and we're going to come up with something. When you've got so much coming out, it's exciting and it's contagious. So definitely beauty from the inside out. But when you're a stunner visually as well, it's kind of mesmerizing. But for me, it always is worn on a big veneer of confidence. They would just walk in the room, like, not look at me. I am. I'm here. It's not like pay attention to me. It's more, I'm here. What are we doing? Let's get this. So.
Yes, absolutely. So Rosemary, some questions.
Yes, I have 3 questions that I'm going to start with. Lorena asked a question of, how does someone get into your world? In other words, how do they start getting involved in celebrities and transitioning out of the maybe salon life?
Well, it's a journey. I mean, there are formulas. There's agencies and agents, and you go around and meet people. I suggest you look at talent that you like and find out who represents them, and then go and see if they'll take a meeting. It's much like in the salon. You start at the lower level, unless you have a client that's already in the industry that's pulling you in. You generally work your way up, but it's a wonderful way to learn because you get on teams, fashion teams. I can head up a team, but how do I do 300 people show of fashion and get it done right without a 26-member team of ultra skills that can achieve what I have created? Yes, I'm going to try to go through and touch them all, but you got to trust. So there's all those stepping stones. Get on a team, get an agency. If you don't get with an agency, call around and tell agencies you'd like to be an assistant so you can start feeling it and developing it. It's great when you develop a relationship with a working stylist who can teach you, expose you, and take you along on the journey. That's really the fundamental basic to get into it. The rest came into place after. I was blessed in the beginning of my career. Kate Pearson, from the redhead from the B-52s, walked into my salon and said, I'm in a band, and every once in a while I like to wear wigs, and would you like to do them? I didn't even know it was her. I said, oh, really, a band? What band? The band that I was listening to at the time. And so it happened organically for me. But really, with assistants, I always tell them, if you like somebody's work, call their agency, tell them you like to work and you'd like to work for them as an assistant, and start, because that way you're not thrown in front of it all. You get to see how other people, and everybody's different. Nobody else is me. And there's a lot of wonderfully talented, heartfelt efforts on professionals out there. And so it's really important to mix it up. And that's foundationally how you get in. The rest will be your own life and your own magnificence that takes you on the path that you do. I didn't sit down and write this book. it came to my door and knocked one by one. The big change, I went to New York in 1980. I met John Delaria, got hired there in Soho, and learned how to translate this is fundamental. I learned it in the hair salon. I learned how to translate concept to my fingertips with a structure. They do a practice called parametrics, which is really cool. I still use it today. Works for everything for me. And from there, getting exposed and playing and being open to creating. And at the end of that 10-year run, it was 89, Orbe came and started working there. And he met me, he said, I want to open a salon. I'd like you to do it with me. And that journey started, which he told me always, he said, I think you should be doing photo shoots. And I'm like, okay. My first one was with Steve Meisel, and it was all ladies of color. And nobody's blowing out ladies of color and setting their hair, but I went in and did it. And they were all like, oh, wow, that's that, okay. So it was just stepping, moving, and feeling blessed and grateful for the opportunities that have come in my path. I have a vision and a want. And then we went into fashion, deeply into fashion. And as fashion happened, that put me around in the world. People knew me as the hairdresser that was doing this or that. And that finally, it took right about timing, and it was timing. Hollywood started coming back. It was always supermodel on the cover of the magazines, and Hollywood started coming back. So there was we want that supermodel look, but we're not supermodels, but we want to look good. So it all started cross-pollinating. And today it's a different story. Influencers have taken over so much, but they don't know what we know. They don't have our skills. They're a person that does themselves, but they took a forefront and had a great influence on the industry. And that's not to say that they're not good, but they do themselves well. I do thousands of people. It's a big difference, and it's a different journey. But that leads us all into another thing. And it's just this evolution. And now with pandemic, we're doing a whole nother thing. And it's going to be interesting. It's a new world out there. And I think believe in yourself, go knocking on some doors, check out who you like out there, and step it up. Call their people and say, hey, I'd love to assist them. It can cost you in the beginning, but it can be a great thing. With the right person, it's a great thing.
Yes.
With assistants, often, I only bring in, when I'm with a star, I don't need an entourage. I want it one-on-one and an intimacy. But once we start doing productions, I need people to work with. And I have my team all over the world, different people I work with to make it happen. And it's an essential role. Know that assisting is so important and foundational to a great stylist. Great stylists, for the most part, were phenomenal assistants. So really spend your time there and take up any opportunity you can to learn something from somebody. I'm jealous. I don't get to sit around and be in session and watch other people do their work. It's always me. And I'm like, can somebody else do it today? Because it'd be fun. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Is that good information for you? I hope it is.
Oh my God, that's tremendous information. Because you actually answered the other two questions, which was about Instagram influencers, and you spoke into that and the importance of, from what I'm getting, is that, being more foundational and understanding the whole dynamics of where to go instead of just taking bits and pieces so that you can have the diversity.
Yeah, and also it's an evolution. It's a very interesting thing that happened, and it's a conversation that I can have open with a group of people, but I saw it influence great things, and I saw it also almost as an excuse to not have to work for a lot of people too. I don't know, I can't explain that right now, but there's so many great things about all these changes and the mediums and the exploration of it. But it's what we do is very different and so much more, I feel. There are some great influencers that are professionals as well. So I think they're all amazing. I've seen some amazing work. Tutorials are amazing. All this knowledge being shared, it's phenomenal. And I learn from people. It's interesting to see how people try to figure it out and do it. That's been the fun one. And the abuse of things like got to be hairspray to lay down a wig. It's interesting to see what people figure out for themselves and create for themselves. And that's an inspiration. So I don't poo-poo it all. I just think they're different.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would be your advice to any hairdressers here right now watching that want to take their work to that next level? Whatever that is, whether they're in the salon or they're doing editorial, what advice would you give to them?
Well, there's a couple of things. Be grateful for your salon clientele, for starters. Just be grateful they're there, and don't alienate them, because once you move on, you know, they can just remember who they are in your life. They're foundational, and it's an opportunity for you to play and learn. As far as moving on, you start a little at a time. You start showing up. You don't give up your whole job. You start assisting people. Maybe you just do Fashion Week, or maybe you just get on board with somebody, you know, depending on what they're doing. It all depends on where you're located or where you're willing to locate, because not every place is doing that. And then, you know, ultimately you can also do things like, if you're feeling confident or excited about stuff, post it, you know, do your own influencing, whether you've got the millions or not. You know, just do it, you know, express yourself and learn. Don't give up the learning. You're learning with your clients, you're learning through exposure. And there will be a point, there always is with an assistant, where you're, as a stylist, turning to him, I think it's time you move on, you know, it's time for you to bloom and take it on yourself and learn all those challenges because what you're also watching when you're assisting somebody, you're watching how they interact with everybody on the set, how they talk to a director, how they talk to a publicist, how they talk to the star. It's very important to find out what that is. You've got to be of good personality to do this. It's not about you. It's about your work and your ability to work with.
Yes, absolutely. Rosemary, any more questions before we say goodbye to our friends? I hope you've all enjoyed this amazing session today with the incredible Danilo. Anything else, Rosemary?
There are no more questions. However, there has been lots of love. Damien Carney has been on the show as well, watching you guys. And
love you, Damien.
Thank you.
Damien.
And I thank you, along with all your members. They said, brilliant, thank you. They just love your heart and your spirit and your talent. So we're grateful for you. And we're grateful for you, Vivian, for creating this connection for us.
Thank you for having me. This is truly exciting. And I don't feel like I'm in a pandemic isolation any longer. So thank you for sharing time with me and having me.
Well, thank you. Well, I want to just say thank you also for just sharing from your heart. It's so appreciative. And as I say, you're such an inspiration, and I would be a broom and I would be a sectioning clip for you anytime, because you are just awesome. And do you know, one of the things I didn't mention this, out of all the incredible people that I've worked with in my career, and many have been my hair heroes on this show, you are the one person who, when we were working together, you were working on this amazing creation and you just said, let's switch. And I then went into what you were doing thinking, oh no, I'm about to ruin this lovely creation. And then you went into mine and made mine a whole lot better. And it was just such a wonderful thing to share and exchange and just release it and take it somewhere else. And it was such trust on your part. It was so inviting, and I look forward to the day when we can do that again, because that was so amazing.
It was a two-way trust. It's not a one-way trust. I mean, I'm not such an idol of yours, so I thank you for remembering that. I'd forgotten that moment, and I remember just that it's like, let it go. Let's play with this. Let's get something going in here.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for having me, Vivian. It's been such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. So hopefully you'll come back and we can get into the world of fashion. And I'll have to dig up some of those hair pieces because I have them in a vault, and we should show everybody. They're amazing. So thank you so much, Danilo. Love you dearly. Take care, everybody. Be safe, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.